Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for day 4 of this test match between Australia and the West Indies. As you can see there, West Indies, they need 459 runs to win this test match. Australia, they are just chasing those 6 wickets. We saw some brilliant bowling from Scotty Boland last night, getting 3 wickets in the same over. And now we've got a Thomas and a Holder partnership starting to build for the West Indies. Both men sitting on 8 runs. Both facing more than 40 deliveries. They really stuck in there during a tough period last night. But straight away, Mitchell Starc in the bowling attack for the first ball of the new day. And it's pretty decent straight away. Might be pitching outside leg, a big appeal. Oh, umpire has to swat away a fly. Some thought that it was a bit exciting. Looks like Steve Smith is pretty keen on checking out this one. For the very first ball, we might see a review. Okay. I just heard a distant Nathan Lyon saying, I think it's going over, I believe. Nice there, Shannon. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Doing very well. Aussie says in this in GTR. No surprises. France get through, says Elon there. Yes, they will be going on, I believe, to face Morocco in the FIFA World Cup semi-final. Right, they're going to be looking upstairs for this ball. Boland has incredible statistics. Well, says Elon. If you think those are incredible, should have seen his MCG last year. He was absolutely phenomenal, but he seems to be a bowler who, when he finds his momentum, just keeps on going and going and going, which is why, for me, he's got to be selected in that first test match up against South Africa. Definitely if Josh Hazelwood's out. Just going to be checking this one. And Nathan Lyon was right. If that was a distant Nathan Lyon that I heard saying it's going over the top, he was 100% right, but they didn't listen to him. Even though he's fielding at point, normally you do listen to that man. They got a bit excited, and Australia, they used up a review. They've still got 2 more remaining. Though. Good commentary, bro. Welcome in, mate. And he's a big boy. There's Elon there. And hey, Hamish, can't wait for Samoa on game against South Africa. I'm very confident that Samoa is winning the Cape Town 7, says Tal. They have got a good crack. And the good news is, at absolute worst, this won't be the mindset that they'll have, but at absolute worst, Samoa have got themselves 4th, which is a huge improvement on what they were able to do last week in Dubai, but they'll be wanting to go a lot further. They're just that 4th place. Thomas leaves that one alone outside of off stump. Well, Mitchell Starc grabbing at his side here. Hope it's just an itch and not something more serious. Just showing, yeah, it was always going over the stumps. That one. Thomas, he's an impressive batsman. He's an impressive bowler, impressive wicketkeeper, impressive fielder. This man, a word to sum him up, impressive. But he needs to stick out there for quite some time for the West Indies. I'm not sure what the tactics will be here. Whether it's bat for as long as you can to wear out the Aussie bowlers for the South Africans, or whether it's just go out there, hit the bad ball, find yourself a bit of form, close the year on a high. That will be the end of the over. Oh, it won't. It's only 3 balls in. Mitchell Starc, the umpire, looked like he was ready to hand him his hat. And I was, how long is this game, says Tal. So this matchup, theoretically, today could go for 7.5 hours, Tal. But more than likely, it will just be the first 2 hours that it does take place. Pretty much the West Indies, if they lose 6 more wickets, they'll lose, and Australia will be victorious. Imagine if Croatia lose to France in the final twice. That'll be a dog bite to the ball, says Elon. Of course, no one wants one of those, do they? Also, hi, Mr. Caution, or from Mr. Cautious Pets there. Welcome in. Hello, Hamish and all. West Indies to be bowled out within first 2 sessions today. Yep. I think that's, at this stage, relatively likely. If it's not Starc picking up the wickets, I think we're going to see more than likely Nathan Lyon or Scotty Boland or Neser. That's the thing. They've got depth at the moment in this bowling lineup for Australia. Cam Green could get them. If they need him, go down swinging, as all the West Indies can do, might as well. Says Sebastian. Yeah, I can answer all that. That wasn't a sentence. Welcome in, Sebastian. Hope you're doing well. I can see where you're coming from. There's no point facing 300 balls, getting 50 runs on the board. Other than, I guess, like I mentioned, a wear down Australia for South Africa. I don't know how close the West Indies and South Africa are. Game over, Windies. Sorry, buddies. Says Elon there. Boland was going crazy yesterday. Yeah, and he's a bowler of momentum. But also Cam Green doing very nicely. That's a shot from Thomas. Out through cover. The half volley, and he's punished the bad ball. That's what the West Indies have to do. If Australia aren't getting their line and length right, put them away to the boundary. Tell them that that's a bad ball. Devon Thomas, very nice shot there. First boundary and first run of the day. West Indies cannot bet out for 2 days, says Keith. Yeah. So it's just one of those ones. They've got to decide whether or not these two, they want to bat for the averages or whether they do want to just have a bit of a whack around, punish the Australian bowlers a bit. It was a nice shot. And 2 hours after the game is finished, it's a good time to stream sevens, says Dale there. And we will also have our preview coming out for Samoa versus South Africa, where we give our prediction. Normally we're wrong, but then got to be strategic with who I pick then in that regard. It's alone outside of off stump that time, and that will be the end of the over. 4 runs off it, 4 for 42. 2 tests and 3 tests against the Proteas, says Sebastian. So yeah, the first test match up against South Africa, I believe it starts on the 16th, but I'll just have a very quick look. Make sure that is correct. And cool, bring on the Saffers, says Elon there. And we are going to be covering a majority of those test matches as well. They start a bit earlier New Zealand time, which is always nice. We're going to be doing the BBL also. That's the thing. I thought this weekend was relatively busy, but I think next weekend, alongside the BBL that we're going to be doing throughout the week, we are going to be absolutely exhausted. But there's going to be a lot of great sport on, I assume, New Zealand time, the same as Samoa time. That will depend, Tal. Is it currently for you 5:05 p.m.? Because if it is the same. And spelling, sorry, I have a few bivvies. I had a few bivvies, says Elon. I think Australia should have picked Jai Richardson and hello, we're back. I don't know what happened there. Neser bowled very well in that first session, though, for the Australians, and he picked up a couple crucial wickets early that gave them the momentum. Thing is, Jai Richardson, maybe he could have done the same thing, but I think Richardson's a good option for the future, seeing as still only about 28, I believe. Scotty Boland into the bowling attack here. I think today's going to be our day of technical difficulties. I see already that the Wi-Fi is cutting in and out, and we are only sitting at 6 minutes into the stream. So yeah, same time as Moatau. So that first matchup taking place at 2:45 a.m. Rugby matches were all competitive, except for Northampton, says Keith. Which is always nice to see. I see that Clermont were able to get themselves the win over the Stormers. I'll give them confidence. The Bulls actually beating Lyon with their side that a lot of people felt they were thrown out there to get beaten. Actually didn't do too badly in the end. Holder on strike at the moment. Another 4 defensive. Australia, they still require 6 wickets to be able to go on and win this test match. They're showing just that length that he was able to hit last night. It's that length that you're almost getting lured in forward. You can't really go back to it because it's not quite short enough. And it just moves through the air as well for Scotty Boland. Holding out 8 runs, 44. The big man can hit when it's in the wrong place. He leaves it alone outside of off stump, though. Side's against going after it. I'd say Boland, he'll be feeling relatively fresh, only 6.3 overs. He has bowled so far, so I think he's going to have at least 5 overs here. Quins versus Sharks will be interesting. I enjoyed last night's game despite the results. Yeah, that one was an awesome seesaw. And it'll be interesting to see when they play again, whether or not Marcus Smith, Lewis Liner, and all those guys, Tyrone Green, if they're all back, it'll be a whole different ballpark for the Quins. But the way they still fought back late, I said it on the live stream early on. I feel like to an extent, no one really believed me, other than probably yourself, Sebastian. I said, Quins, even though they're down by a whole heap of points, they're not out of this game because they just do it every single match. They find momentum, and then they just keep on going. Bye, says Mr. Cautious Bets. We will see you later. I think the Saffers will win the series, says Elon there. What's your favourite team in Super 15? I like the Hurricanes kit the most out of any side, just because of the yellow. But favourite team, I really enjoyed the Chiefs, not last year, but the year before, when they were coming from pretty much being a side that looked like they were going to be defeated every game to a winning run straight through to Super Rugby Aotearoa's final. They did lose to the Crusaders in the end, but I felt like the passion that they showed throughout that season was just a very, very impressive one for them. Preach, Keith. Well, looking forward today to England versus Pakistan. Hopefully England setting Pakistan target of 350 plus. And that test match been so unpredictable because we thought maybe Pakistan were going to be able to get themselves a decent total. Nope, bowled out. That changed the momentum well and truly for them. Hurricane would have got 3 points. It was a rugby game. Says Elon there. And that's straight over the top. That's a nice drive. Well fielded, though. I'm Manus. They were shamed. A little bit of attacking from Holder. That will close out the 24th over now. It's going to be 4 for 42. And I was like, I'm praying now, Sebastian. Says Keith. And I like the Crusaders, says Tal. And they're the team that are just up the road from myself. About 2.5 hours. Thomas sitting on 12. Holder on 8. They've still got some decent batsmen to still make their way out to the middle. They've got Alzari Joseph. They've got Roston Chase. Joshua De Silva. And I was like, oh gosh, I came into wrong channel. Sorry, see you soon after New Year before that. Tata bye. Says she thinks. So I guess we'll see you 2023. Stark. He was able to pick up the other wicket other than the Scott Boland 3 for 9 that he's currently sitting on. That man just keeps on picking up wickets in the critical situations. Seven started at 8 p.m. right, says Tal. I'll just have a quick look. I know it's a women's game. It actually starts at 7 p.m. tonight. And that will be the matchup taking place between Japan and Brazil for the women's matchup. And then the men's side of the draw, I believe it starts at about, that might be 9 actually. Men's starts at, first men's match is at 8:34 p.m. And Rowan Hurricane hopes winning World Cup is over. Kane will play one more. I don't think he's got one more in him. Harry Kane, he is getting relatively up there in age. I'll just have a quick Google. How old is Harry Kane? Oh, actually, to his credit, I thought he was older than 29. I thought he was about, he looks like he could be like 34, but also looks like he could be just the older looking 25. That makes sense. But no, I think he's got another one in him now that I realize he's only 29. Zane Shiva said, what's up? Welcome in, mate. You're doing very well currently. The West Indies looking to put together a decent partnership here between Thomas and Holder. If they bat out this first session of another hour and 50 minutes, we move into the second. We will keep on going through the day until we see a result. And Kane getting a contract as an NFL kicker, maybe, says Elon there, and also came for Aussie rules. And what do you eat in breakfast, sends Sanjeev? Well, I now know that that's you, Shish, isn't it? Oh, no. Was that Shish who was asking about my breakfast, or was that Rajni? It might have been Rajni who wanted to know what I have for breakfast. I have wheat bix. Nice basic Kiwi brekkie. That's a good ball from Mitchell Stark. Once again, getting it to move straight across Thomas. And I'll be up all night to watch Samoa, says Tal. And if they make it through to the final, I checked before, that happens in 14.5 hours time. I'm running off like 4 hours sleep almost for the whole weekend. So it's going to be interesting to see if I'm sitting here like this by the time the final's happening. But I think because I know that it's the Cape Town Sevens final, I'll still be wide awake. How many can you do, Hamish? Says Elon. I go for 4. I don't go too crazy. I just go with whatever fits in the bowl, really. 4 is stock standard number. Be left alone outside of our stump again. Bit more of a half volley from Mitchell Stark, seeing if he can lure Thomas into the drive like he did in the last over. And bro, you must be tired, man. Long morning/night. Yep. I think we put in about a 19-hour day yesterday, and that involved about maybe 10 or 11 hours of live streaming. The day before that, we put in about 10 hours of streaming as well. And then the day before that, I think it was about 8. So it's been busy over the weekend. Minimal sleep, maximum streaming. A lot of sport, though. So it's hard to sleep when you know that matches are going on while you are having your eyes closed. I hope the final will be Morocco versus Hrvatska. And it will be ending up being the worst viewed, or it will end up being the worst viewed World Cup in history. Bollocks the tournament, for F's sake. Or bollocks of a tournament, sorry, I should say. A lot of upsets, haven't there? So it could happen, to be fair. Because, yeah, that would get rid of France and that would get rid of Argentina. So that's probably 2 massive audiences that FIFA have got. And also no sandpaper in the pocket tactics this time. No, it just rings around the finger. And your face is funny, said they'll Rodney Sculialo to do 9. That's not too bad, Clap. Might be from Elon. I've got one moment. I'm going to reach over here. I just yanked myself on the keyboard with my headset, but Got some Weet-Bix cards that actually tell you how many people eat. Sam Kane, skipper, he eats 7. Which is, oh, that's the edge. Oh, no. Thomas is gone. The partnership was building nicely. I thought we were going to have a relatively long session, but that might have just majorly messed it up for the West Indies. Off the edge, Thomas decided to try and drive it. It just wasn't quite the length for it. And Mitchell Starc gets the wicket. That will be his second of the innings. Thomas is gone. 12 runs off 56 balls. And now the West Indies, they are sitting 5 for 42. And also Croatia to beat France in the final. And Dylan says Gareth. Oh, sorry, that was actually Sebastian. And there, we were just talking about Weet-Bix. That's how casual I was taking this. I thought that these two were going to bat for a little while. So I was like, we got time to go look at some Weet-Bix cards. And then Starc bowls an absolute peach, swinging away. Devon Thomas reaches for it, doesn't get onto it. Carey takes the catch. And also, why is a Welshman batting for the West Indies? Geez, they're getting desperate, says Elon there. And also, I'll look at it on the bright side. Quicker we bowl them out, the quicker you get rest, says Zach. Kind of. After this live stream, once they do bowl them out, I will be filming my preview for Samoa versus South Africa. Then from there, I believe we've still got a little bit of preparation to do before our Sevens live streams that start at 2 a.m. So I'm not too sure whether I'll get any sleep before those later live streams or if we're just going to stay up. So if I was a YouTuber, I would definitely donate $1 million for Hamish, says Tailenders there. And that $1 million, I always say it, all the money made off the channel at this stage has been going straight back into the channel. So that would get us quite a nice cricketing setup for the background. Could get some rugby posts indoors. That would be quite fun. Picking Morocco, the underdogs, says Obi. But now Joshua De Silva makes his way to the middle. Now, back to our little quick discussion about Weet-Bix. Of all of these players, Nepal Ulala can only eat 5, which I find quite interesting. Cody Taylor's the same as me. He eats 4. The Sam Kane's actually the most out of the list that I had. Will Jordan, he can eat 6. Here we go. I had to make sure I unhooked myself this time or else I was going to possibly get yanked back like a Portuguese white bloke at the crease, says Sebastian. Josh De Silva, he had a decent innings in the first one. And Josh De Silva looks like a lesbo or a Lebo. Or Lebo, is it? As in someone from Lebanon? Have I read that one correctly? And also, I think it would be a bit weird if Messi won a World Cup and Ronaldo didn't, says Elon. Well, then, anyone who's a fan of Messi, though, they'll be able to say, well, he's able to do something that Ronaldo was never able to do. So maybe, it would be, does that secure GOAT status? I know that annoys a lot of people when you go Ronaldo or Messi. I really don't know who I'd pick. I got Ronaldo's regen on FIFA 22. He goes all right. His name is Cadrena, I think it was. Cadrena. Currently on loan because we didn't want him at our club just for now. Got to train him up a bit. Going to be a Silva taken. Single taken by Holder, I should say. In fact, they get through 2. And yeah, Lebanese, says Zach there. Ooh. Nice bit of hand movement. For that first shot when he got the boundary. But it was shorter and wider when he got the wicket. I can hear it's absolutely bucketing down here. That's what West Indies will want at the cricket here. I think it was a 40% chance that it was supposed to rain on the Sunday session, which is today. And England football team, Southgate out, Wayne Smith straight right in immediately and definitely, says Elon. And also we have got there, Messi has the most Ballon d'Ors. And also, hi Kiwi, says Ryan. You're doing well, but 25.3 at the moment. The over's down. They've still got another theoretically 85 or so today. So the chance of West Indies getting out of today with all their wickets or with 1 wicket intact is unlikely. Definitely with Boland at the moment, finding his line early. And Kiwi, Croatia versus Argentina, France versus Morocco, says Ryan there. I don't think so. Higher paid footballer Ronaldo think about not winning a World Cup, says Coding in there. I'm sure he would have loved to get one. I'd say Ron Dildo is more Has more followers, to be fair, says Elon. I thought Messi was the higher paid, says Zach. Although being higher paid doesn't always mean better. You look at some of these guys in the BBL or you look at the IPL, some players go for huge money and then they have absolutely abysmal seasons and then they don't get that money again. Like the good news for those two is they've consistently been able to keep on, I guess, bringing in the big dollars throughout their career. Ian Smith's just done quite the analogy. They said that Scotty Boland is the Rolls Royce of the Australian side. They take him out a couple times, they give him a bit of a spin while he's out on the park, then they put the covers on him, put him back in the garage, and then bring him out the next year. And Boland, like that's the thing, he's a very capable bowler, but it just seems to be that he doesn't get that spot. It's a shorter ball, Holder whips it away. And also, I think you are missing Rajni. Nah, not really. To an extent, I know Rajni at times, he's got his downfalls, of course, but I think he's a nice enough fellow. Maybe at the end of the day, and Ronaldo is he can trip on a blade of grass and ask for 5 penalties. Then he can crash a Ferrari and walk away unscathed. Those says Sebastian. What did you say when reading Elon's comment? I think I read it the way he wanted me to. It just may have sounded a bit bad. And Neymar is highest, I thought, says Obi. Oh, if anyone knows about diving when there's a blade of grass in his way, it is that man. And I'm not a football fan, but I've learned watching this World Cup, the defenders are winning these games. Some great performances defensively. They'll never get the big bucks, though not missing Rajni, says Elon there. And he is a nice guy. I mean, he did say that he wanted to have sexual intercourse with my girlfriend and my mother. But I guess other than those flaws that he's got, maybe he is a nice guy. Doesn't sound too loyal though, because he said he had a girlfriend at the same time. But he's willing to do that. Stark, luring and Holder to the cover drive. He's disappointed in himself for chasing the ball. Footballers are just Hollywoods. And Portugal versus Morocco and the BBC, the public rated Ronaldo at 3.28 out of 10. Great performance. 3.28 is very specific, isn't it? So we have got there Australia need to draw or win to seal the series, says Caroline. And at the moment, Caroline. One of the two, I believe it is. But at the moment, they look like they're very likely to do so. I don't see the West Indies chasing down 452 with 5 wickets remaining. I don't see them, to an extent, getting out of today with any wickets left on the board. Footballers are just Hollywoods. That's weird how similar you two wrote that. It's as if you copied and pasted it, maybe. For some reason, I thought we were on the Discord server. Sorry for the way I composed that comment. Says Sebastian. No, it's all good. I just censored out the bad parts. Sebastian, you a fan of Are you a fan of English rugby league, Sebastian? Do let me know because I found myself some interesting information if you are. That's such a tease, isn't it? I could just tell you the information, but first I'm going to see if you do. I know you like your rugby league, but I assume you are a fan of the English rugby league side. Well, making it through. Sorry as I did. I'm a fan of the Warrington Wolves, says Sebastian there. And wish we could post GIFs on here, says Fluffy. I know there's a way of setting it up on, I think it's on Streamlabs, how when you get a donation, like a GIF can pop up type thing. But yeah, Sebastian, here's a little sneaky trick for you. If you want any English Rugby League World Cup merchandise, their website at the moment has it like 70% off because the World Cup finished. So you can get like a hoodie for $20 with England on it, get a shirt with England on it for like $15. Might be worth a look if you are keen on some merchandise. I don't know if they ship to Romania. I know they've got international shipping. You can get that for free as well if you spin a little wheel thing. I know this because I got a couple hoodies. Not English ones. I ended up, where was my hoodie from? I think I got a Cook Islands hoodie because it looked all right with the green on it, and then also a Tongan hoodie, bit of red. Good fun. Just showing the way that he's used his wrist there. Mitchell Stark, finger work there, as they've said. And also we have got there, that's that new Kenyan as a fast boy. My gosh, third fastest time on debut. What in the even world is he capable? Please drug test the kid, says Elon. Stark charges and 3 slips still. Short ball, Holder ducks the elbow in. Doesn't want to get smacked by the ball. Australia, they need 5 wickets to win, which is definitely the stat that they are looking at. It's the altitude, says Fluffy. Yeah, is that for Cape Town, is it? And also, they do ship stuff everywhere in Europe. Last year, I bought myself an English sleeveless cricket jumper that shipped straight to the land of the vampires, says Sebastian. Yeah, I never realised how much of a discount they put on competitions straight after they happen. I don't think they'll do it for the FIFA World Cup, mainly because I think the football's probably big enough anyway. I don't know if they've got an official shop for the FIFA World Cup. And also, we have got there, Amish, on which day of the month you get YouTube payment and AdSense. Is it fast or slow? I think it's about the 20. I don't know the exact day. It's normally a Wednesday. Is it? Is it normally a Wednesday? I think it's about a 23rd, somewhere around there. I think vampire jerseys, says Fluffy there, and it's all a bit of nonsense. This is what football's coming home rubbish. To be fair, says Elon. And Hamish, I'm sad. Why are you sad, Mr. Cookie Boy? Is it due to any of the URC results by any chance, or is it something else? Do let me know. Right. At the conclusion of this game, they're actually going to release their squad for the Proteas. And I've just said Josh Hazelwood more than likely not going to be available for the next test match. That's a big hit, but that means that maybe Neser or Boland, they will get another chance. Nice and solid in behind it from the Silva. Eating too many cookies will do that, to be honest, says Elon there. And Mr. Cookie needs a mango. I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do, but I put my mango in the fridge. Is that correct? Are you supposed to put mangoes in the fridge? Because I just thought it seemed like it was a bit too room temperature. I wanted to make it a bit chillier, make it refreshing. England lost to France. They did, didn't they? In that matchup. But yeah, the World Cup, to be fair, we've had more upsets in this one than I think any other World Cup we have seen in recent time. So it was always going to be one of those matches that could have gone either way. Although that one wasn't an upset. I think France came in as favourites, didn't they? And in the World Cup quarterfinal, here's Mr. Cookie Boy De Silva. Apparently yet to get himself off the mark, sitting on 0 off 2. A decent innings for the first. The lights are actually already on at the moment, seeing as it is overcast in the afternoon. And of course, bad light shouldn't stop play here. The mango with the ice cube. And then I'll throw excess mango out at Lycra clad cyclists, says Fluffy. Go Morocco, says Mr. Cookie Boy off to the pub. Game over Wales, West Indies combined 11. Says Elon there, so we'll see you later on, mate. And hey, Hamish, do you play any mobile game, PUBG Mobile? I don't play PUBG Mobile. At one stage, I was playing a little bit of COD Mobile. I'm just going to have a look through at my games. Do I have any decent ones? I have Blackout Rugby, which I haven't played yet, which I was considering trying to do some sort of series on the channel of that rugby game. It's kind of like you develop a rugby team and you try and build stadiums and whatnot. Other than that, I really don't have a lot of games. I've got a whole heap of like ball tracking ones, like cricket coach apps and that kind of thing. I've got stick cricket. In fact, Super League, that's actually quite a fun stick cricket game back in the day, because you pretty much get to sign big name players for each of your seasons. Do crowds are allowed to drink beer in Qatar or Qatar? No, they aren't, which is weird because Budweiser was the main sponsor right up until the World Cup took place, and they were like, actually, no, we don't need alcohol. And Budweiser were just like, but we just shipped 50 trucks to here so that we could serve a whole heap of alcohol. Boland charging in. Side off stump left alone by De Silva. And also we've got the Kiwi Sir. You do the best commentary. Thank you very much. Luriani, hugely appreciated you being here, mate. And we have got South Africa versus Australia just around the corner. Be an awesome series. The next time West Indies are in action, sadly, is actually in about 2 months' time. It's going to be a little while, but then after that, when they're back in action, we will be covering their matches on the channel as well. Probably Scott Boland will be first, or will be in the Australia versus South Africa first test. Cheers, Carolina. It would be a good choice just because if he bowls like he did in that last night's session, he'll be very handy with the ball. Michael Neser, they're saying, may get that little bit of an advantage seeing as it's being played at the Gabba and that's his home ground. Or Chase the Silva, who was swinging away. He's managed to get it out of the middle of the bat. He's done well, races to the boundary. And also, are you going to stream any sevens at 8 p.m.? The first live streams for sevens we've got today, I believe, is going to be that 2 a.m. matchup between USA and New Zealand, mainly because I have a feeling my voice might start disappearing if I do too many more, which I guess doesn't make sense while I'm doing the cricket, but I knew it was going to be the last session or the last 2 sessions of the cricket, so I wanted to close out a match that we've already done about maybe about 17 hours of commentary for. So I wanted to make sure that I got that closure on the match in a way. It sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But wanted to make sure I was here at the end of it as well. But if we do end up doing any other games earlier than that, it might end up being Fiji, Uruguay at 1:40 perhaps. We might end up squeezing in. The good news is we've still got another 8 hours till that match takes place. So all I need to do, if I do decide to do that match, is just get it scheduled, get a thumbnail made, and then put it on ready to go. Holder on strike. Mitchell Starc charging into bowl again. Oh, that's a ripper of a delivery from Mitchell Starc, in swinging through the gate, and Jason Holder gone. That's going to be now 6 down. And there's also in the chat, we have got from Fluffy gone. Hurler, Jaffa in there as well. This one came back in. I mentioned how many times he has swung it across off the right hander, but this time brings it back in. Perfect line and length. That is an almost unplayable ball from Mitchell Starc. Looking at the way that he has bowled from the last few overs, of the fact that it's all been going away. I'm waiting for the preview of Samoa against Estal. So yeah, pretty much we will have to film that after this match is finished. So it might be released at about 9 p.m. New Zealand time, somewhere around there. And that will be the plan. I see a new signing for the Melbourne Stars in the BBL. Who's it going to be? It's Tom Rogers. Hang on, he was already signed for them, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Okay, never mind. Like this. We go like this. There we go. All those sides stocking up before the BBL in only a few days' time. That's going to be starting on Tuesday, and we will be covering those games on the channel as well. Big celebrations from the slip corner, and they got to see that ball in perfect effect coming through the gate of Jason Holder. And now once again to Silva and a new batsman here. I believe it is going to be, is it Roston Chase? Yes, it is. These two have to try and rebuild another partnership. Chase, he could be in a while. He's got the potential. And with a batsman at the other end, I think that will also benefit Roston Chase. Brazil lose to Croatia. The Croatian only had 1 shot on goal the entire match, dominate the game, lose on penalties. They're soul destroying, says Al Mack. And I guess it's just down to the old saying of taking your chances. You know, having 1 crack at the goal, scoring it, rather than having a whole heap of chances and missing them. Similar to what we saw in the sevens last night. Fiji, they had their 1 chance early on in the game. They scored their try. But then from there, the momentum completely shifted, and it was just all USA, which is why they made it through. It almost looked like it was going to be New Zealand, Samoa, Fiji, and South Africa, which would be my favorite 4 in the top 4. That is to cover on the channel, by the way. I love saying all the names combined, but it's a good shot from Roston Chase. Bit of a misfield from Marnus Labuschagne. Yeah. Just didn't quite work out for the Flying Fijians. So anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We will be starting that next test match between South Africa and Australia in only a few days' time. I was going to look up when that was taking place, wasn't I? Here we go. South Africa Test Series. It's going to be starting on the 17th of December, which is going to be, it's actually starting on next Saturday, that next matchup. And that'll be going right through to the 21st, which is the Wednesday. So that's going to be a hectic 24, maybe 36, 48 hours there. To the league side again. And also we have got there Hamish. I told you about Jollibee Peach and Mango Pie on YouTube, a British female mukbanger, ate 8 pounds in weight, 8,000 calories in just a few minutes. She loved it, highly recommended. 8,000 calories of mango pie. Don't get me wrong, I love me a mango, but I feel like even like 1,000 calories of mango pie, I'd be absolutely just well and truly stonkered. Only 4 wickets remain for the Windies. The big question is, are they going to get to the 100 here? And also, I was so sorry about Ronaldo. He's been crying a lot. Says Dole there. Stark still steaming in. Left alone by Roston Chase as the ball drifts across him. So yeah, for Mitchell Stark, that was pretty much the only in-swing he's bowled in a long time. Did you watch the Pakistani mystery spinner? He looks like a real talent. Is that the man who got 7 wickets, Al Mack? Because I think the bigger mystery for that game, not just his spinning, but also what is the pitch going to do on we're currently up to day 3. And I think we're going to almost have a result by the end of today. Maybe they'll get to day 4 if they're lucky, but yeah, he might be able to pick himself up a 10-wicket haul in his first match, which would be pretty awesome across the 2 innings. Mitchell Stark's average in day-night tests, just a little bit better than a lot of other people play this type of cricket and swinging. Roston Chase whips him off his pads there. Nicely fielded in the deep by Scotty Boland. They keep it to the single. The Windies test side looks bad. Mate, are they going to make it into the T20 Super 12? Yet not yet qualified at the ODI World Cup in India. They're becoming an all-round strike team, says Sebastian, which is a shame because, like, you look at the West Indies of old and you see how competitive they were, and they just need those new players. Like, for me, Chunder Paul, they're going in the right direction, having those young guys make their way into the side. There are too many players at the moment for the Windies, and I think a majority of the country would agree, or the majority of the region would agree, that there are a lot of players who are just there because there's no one else to fill that gap, rather than the players being there because they feel they're genuinely going to be world-class players. Raise a wire around the ground and make some nice aesthetic, says Fluffy. And Abra Ahmed called Abracadabra and Harry Potter in English media, says coding, but that will be the end of the over. 29 overs down now. It's going to race around or race down to the boundary off the inside edge of De Silva. Look relatively happy with that, even though probably wasn't how he wanted to strike that ball. Only 4 wickets remain for the Australians. If they get one of these 2, then they start getting closer to the tail. And also the Pakistan leg spinner throws in the disguised off spinner instead of a traditional run, and very different, says Al Mack. Just showing the in swinger for Mitchell Stark compared to the ball across. And it just such a different. And you can't even tell what way the ball is going to be swinging. Boland now. Good length. Roston Chase does well, so does Cameron Green. Just showing those balls. Just watching the way Mitchell Stark has bowled those 2 deliveries. So, yeah, that ball drifts across. The other one that got holder came back in very nicely. Yeah, emphasises that romantic ambience they're going for with their venues, says Sebastian. Scotty Boland, already 3 wickets at the moment. It's a race between him and Stark to see who can get the fifer. I don't think either of them will have the ball pried out of their hands anytime soon. And I was like, yeah, they did the best one towards anything, says Mark. And also Pakistan versus England live stream, says Alima Gaming. Of course, that matchup is going to be taking place a little bit later on tonight. I believe if it makes it to day 4, we might be able to do some commentary Alima tomorrow night, but tonight with the 7s and also with me needing to sleep at some stage, I think that's going to be the plan for tonight. And super cool dude, says Mark Rods, but I should mention we've got the 7 semi-finals at 2 a.m. And then also alongside that, we will have the finals of the 7s taking place at about 7 a.m. New Zealand time. So we'll have another about 14 13 hours until that final. Just gives us more time to get excited about it. At the moment, 3 more balls of the Scotty Boland over. The first change here for Australia might be quite interesting because Nathan Lyon, they went after him a bit last time with Roston Chase. And also, it was actually the night watchman, Anderson Phillip, who did very nicely. Right, deep square leg has gone out now, mid on and mid off. Still in play, and Gully has taken a few more steps forward. That is Cameron Green, but Boland, a little bit leg side-ish. Roston Chase tries to whip it away, but Neser's been able to field it at mid on. And New Zealand and Australia could probably go to rural Pakistan, and I know if some unknown spinners, must be other unknown talents, says Al Mack. And to be fair, the BBL over the years has actually been a pretty awesome platform to see some of these great Pakistan players. Like we saw Harris Ralph introduced to the Melbourne Stars, and he was just a star from day one when he was there. He got himself a hat trick on the same day as Rashid Khan. We also saw him doing pretty well in his first test match for Pakistan. He's got that pure pace, which can really help you out. Boland now, sort of off stump, left alone. At the moment, it feels like a ticking time bomb for the West Indies. Only a matter of time till we see the next wicket fall, but there's also a chance that these two could put on a 50-run partnership. Both very capable. But the 2 wickets already falling today. First of which was actually, who was it? The first wicket falling. Thomas. Thomas was the first one falling. And then it was also Jason Holder. Still with the loaded slip corner. And I feel like the field is slowly creeping in just a little bit here. But the extra pressure, that one popped off the surface a little bit for Scott Boland. And they need a lot more than a 50-run partnership since AFL 10, or sorry, AFL 18. They do. But it's just been nice to see them get 100, 150 here for a final innings. They need a 400-run partnership. Even a 400-run partnership may still not be enough for the West Indies to go on and win this match, which is crazy to think. But these two, they'll just be hoping to get themselves a bit of form, even though, unfortunately, there's no more test matches for the West Indies for quite some time. They don't really have anything to go into. The Caribbean Premier League, it's a wee way away from taking place. I believe that's about mid-year, maybe August. And then alongside that, we got the BBL. A few of these players may find themselves sneaking into those sides. Josh De Silva on strike. Mitchell Starc still with the ball in hand. He will not be giving it up for a long time while bowling the way he has. The back foot, nice shot from the Trinidadian. I don't think that's what you call someone from Trinidad and Tobago. And they'll be 40 short with a 400-run partnership. That's crazy. Says AFL 18 there. What would you call someone from Trinidad and Tobago? Not a Trinidadian. Trinidad? Trinidad? No. Trinidad? Would you call them a Trinidad? I don't know. A Trini is the simplest way. Says Sebastian there. De Silva. He's got a high bat lift, which means he hasn't got a lot of time to get that one to come down, but he does generate a lot of power in the process. Tribber Gowan says Fluffy, nicely fielded by Cam Green. Cuts it off before it makes it to the boundary. Silva gets through for the 2. It's good to see Cameron Green actually with a smile on his face. He was low in confidence. Got himself a brilliant catch last night in the gully region after some brilliant fielding the ball before. Currently, we are 43 minutes through this first session. They may look to extend it. And why are you smirking, boss? There's Sebastian in there. I was just thinking of all of the combinations of the ones that I tried to say that just weren't right. Like Trini is so much easier than all the ones that I tried to do combined. Outside off, something left alone. 10 from 10 at the moment. Mitchell Starc. He's got that in-swinger up his sleeve when he decides to use it. 3 balls left. I thought Mark Howell was trying to wind up Ishigua there by saying that England did very well in their game up against France. Mark Wars just pretty much said that it's all well and good being a great game, but if you lose it, it's not so good, is it? Mark, well, he always finds a good way of making something negative out of a positive situation. One's gone across again from Stark. Silva being patient here, sitting 10 off 10. Who do you think is going to win it in the semi-finals between Argentina and Croatia? It's a bit of a tough one because Croatia keep on upsetting their opposition. Like, they theoretically weren't supposed to win that matchup of the quarterfinals. Now they're through to the semis. Both sides winning in penalties. Croatia in their last 2 games have won in penalties. So you think Argentina have a slight advantage with the fact they've been able to win in regular time for one of their games, but it's very, very hard to tell. This Croatian side at the moment, definitely one of the dark horses. The fact that there's only 4 teams remaining and we've got 2 dark horses in the competition, it's kind of cool, but also kind of not cool at the same time. Nice ball. Nice hit down the ground to Silva. Will take the single. Well fielded by Neser there. And is Croatia even a country, though? And so it turns out they are colloquial, I believe that's how you say it, isn't it? Way is Trini. The official one is Trinidadian and Tobagoan. Tobagoan, Tobagoan. Tobago. That's no wonder they just, I think Trini's probably easier. And will Windies survive the first session? Hour 15 left. They can extend it by 30 minutes if Australia want to. I think it's going to be tough, but I think they're going to get relatively close. And also, did you watch Lara bet against Rashid Khan? He was very comfortable batting, even age 53. I look totally comfortable. Yeah, he's a brilliant batsman no matter what age he is, Brian Lara. I've got a Trini. There's Gareth. And of course it is Fluffy. They're not like the other Yugoslavians. They're much better. Going to be racing away to the boundary. Into the over with the 4, and it is 63 for 6 now. Commentators forgot who. We're winding up Lara by saying there wasn't any positives for the Windies. Our Lyon was the best spinner ever. Our Lara was frustrated. He was making excuses, says AFL. But, I mean, definitely if you're comparing the two in this game between Roston Chase and Nathan Lyon, we've seen that if you can consistently get your plan right, it can lead to wickets. Now, Roston Chase, don't get me wrong, he picked up 2 wickets in the same over. Kawaja. And then also he was able to get David Warner as well, wasn't he? And for the Windies, and that the Snicko system is unnecessary. It was hilarious, says AFL there. Yeah, great BC. He did very well up against Rashid Khan, although I mentioned it at the time that it was happening, that with Rashid Khan being a right-hander bowling to the left armour or the left batsman of Brian Lara, it did mean that the angle was slightly easier for him to play, but still wasn't going to be easy at all. And he played it very nicely. Nathan Lyon now, most test wickets at the moment. He's sitting in 3rd. He's got a long way to go till he gets to McGrath, and only another 12 test matches to do it before McGrath was able to. Right, going to spin for the first time today. An interesting field. They got the leg slip, regular slip of Steve Smith. That pad on the leg side, spinning quite nicely. De Silva wanted the Silva for the single. I keep on saying that. 11 off 13. I believe we've actually seen quite a bit of turn already in this surface. We're only up to day 4. Day 5 would be even harder to bat on for these sides. That's a better ball. And I'm reaching for it there. De Silva has to extend out. Players forward defensive. Test matches in 2022. Nathan Lyon, 9 matches, 38 wickets, and not too bad. Gaza still winding up. He's got the most wickets ever at Adelaide. That's a good ball. That's come right back round. Why is New Zealand not playing international cricket, says Al Mac. We do have a game on the 27th of December. It's just been a little while since the Kiwis have had a game. I believe it's going to be us versus Pakistan in a couple match series for tests, few ODIs, and then they have got next it's going to be Sri Lanka, I believe. I didn't realise Rashid Khan bowled medium pace, says Fluffy. He's a quick spinner. They always talk about it, how you never realise how quick he actually bowls until you're facing him. He gets them down there at about 95, 100 Ks. And Mark Howard said it best. Imagine someone bowling 100 Ks at you, or set your bowling machine to bowl 100, and then imagine it spinning about this much. That's how it's like to face Rashid Khan. Not easy at all. Ryan Lara did himself pretty well, but I think Rashid Khan's going to pick up quite a few wickets throughout the BBL for the Adelaide Strikers this year. One ball left of the Lyon over. Nicely done. And that will close out the over now. 32 overs down in 6 for 63. Still needing 4 wickets to win. They are just talking about the Big Bash. Going to be taking place in Canberra for that first matchup. The Sydney Thunder taking on the Melbourne Stars. Sri Lanka cheeky grin. Says Sebastian, yeah, don't know if we can cover that series, which everyone I know who doesn't know the scenario will be like, why can't you do the games? Just do the games. But I don't know whether or not we want to test that theory out, because by then they'll be finished the FIFA World Cup. So they decided they'd jump on that one to do so. Yeah, by then they might be back trying to copyright strike everyone. And here's stuff that they'll make me look like a queen goose. Well, he would make me look like a queen goose, says Fluffy. I'm just going to have a quick look at the dates of when Sri Lanka play New Zealand, take the devil head on, says Sebastian. Well, it works to an extent, but then we have that quiet patch. Well, I'd like to think I could get the strike removed quicker than last time we got it, mainly because YouTube have changed their system a little bit. And if it's the second time they've falsely copyright struck us, surely that gets you in a bit of trouble, doesn't it? I called it yesterday, Windies 135 all out. Says young boy Pete. A series that I wish that I could cover is actually Bangladesh versus India. It's taking place in only 3 days' time. They're not showing it in New Zealand that I know of. Slightly bit of a shame. But New Zealand will go to 2023 for the schedule. New Zealand, Pakistan, February. New Zealand, England actually is our next series. So we don't play Sri Lanka, do we? We play Sri Lanka in March. We must be busy then. No. It's just a 2-test series and then 3 ODIs. Of course, Croatia is a country. Croatia has 4 million people, 1 million under New Zealand, who has 5 million people. And I'm not convinced, Ryan. Says Fluffy. Silva still on strike. Neser's been added into the bowling attack. I wasn't impressed with Rashid Khan. He's a good defensive bowler. But he doesn't look like a test bowler, not an attacking bowler, says Al Mack. But he did say in that interview as well, when Mark Howard was asking him questions, he did mention how for him to bowl the way that he likes to, it's extremely hard to do it in test match cricket because you've got a lot more factors to deal with, plus the field sets and everything along those lines. He's very good at bowling to his field. But I don't see him in the test side for Afghanistan. I do to an extent because he is probably one of their better options, but I can see someone more likely, a Muhammad Nabi, maybe Zahir Khan, one of those guys, being more likely to bowl in a test match. Although Zahir's a leg spin, isn't he? Whereas Muhammad Nabi is actually off spin. I feel like these cricket live streams, we have squeezed in at least one sneeze for everyone. And also, next over wicket, says Diraj there as the prediction. Okay, who do you think it will be? Diraj, will it be Roston Chase or De Silva who loses their wicket? Do let me know. New Zealand actually play a 3-match T20 series up against Sri Lanka as well. That is in April. Nicely done. Also, we have got the short island has a population of whatever it is. Is it a country? Says Fluffy. One ball left of the Michael Neser over. He has pitched it up a lot more than a few of the other bowlers in that Australian lineup. It led to wickets in the first innings, not so much in the second, but he's got a good economy rate. Almost 7 overs down, only going for the 10 runs. In the back now, Silva. Does look pretty overcast, so the swing might be on offer. He's tried to punch that one out through cover. Doesn't get it. And that's the end of the over. One off it. 64 for 6. Only another hour and 5 minutes remaining of this session. Then they've got the 40-minute lunch break and then another session straight after that. It's more of that question of how many wickets down do the West Indies need to be before Australia decide that they do want that extra 30 minutes, try and close out the match up. It's a long time till the new ball, though. So another 47 overs Morocco into the semis. I didn't call that. A bit stiff. Bruno hitting the crossbar. Here's young boy Pete. But yeah, Morocco and Croatia, both really, you'd have to say, underdogs in their next matches. And if they both win again, we're looking at a final of two sides that I think a lot of people didn't even predict to be in the quarterfinals. To an extent, almost the round of 16 was questionable a little bit for them. And also, we have good there. Not sure does stupid exist? Says Nate there. And also, Aussie need another 4 wickets to win. They certainly do. West Indies draw. Says SN Gaming. Likeliness at the moment, very slim. We're only on day 4. They've got another 160 overs to bat, I believe, somewhere around there. We'll go 150, make it a little bit lighter. That's another 900 balls that these two will have to face alongside their other 3 teammates to be able to cause a draw. Should us neutrals cheer for the underdog Morocco? Says Almac. I guess it just depends on who you really go for. Oh, Roston Chase just hit that in between his legs and actually had it stuck there for a little while. A lot of spin on Nathan Lyon. Afternoon, boss. Another day, another dollar. Says Nate. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, that ball just got stuck between his legs. Roston Chase caught it quite well. In between the thigh pads. Pitched up. Oh, Chase wasn't sure whether to come forward to that one or stay on the back foot. And it doesn't show at Ireland. There's Fluffy there. And also, who do you think is going to win in the semi-finals between France and Morocco? Well, I'll say France because they're favourites, but Morocco have proven that they can beat quite a few decent sides. A moment. Hey, Fever. Love it. The Kiwi lad says, I'm Biryani, and hi from India. Says, Asok, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Mutton Bird will win. Says Fluffy, Moro Bar will win. Says Nate, and Hamish, have you ever visited any haunted or scariest place? I don't know about haunted. Trying to think back to childhood. Like, I've probably been at haunted places very briefly, or places that are supposedly haunted, but nothing to the extent of like I've gone to a haunted house or anything like that, or any other reason than if the house was haunted and I was there. George is very keen on doing some sort of series going to haunted places, though, so that will be fun. De Silva. Once again, it's a to the leg side. Well done. In close by Travis Head. That'll be the end of the Nathan Lyon over, I should say. Now, 6 for 65. I'd like to see a Travis Head over soon. Once Michael Neser's finished his spell, just because last time they put him on, he actually got the breakthrough wicket of Jason Alder and also broke the partnership of Azadi Joseph and Roston Chase. Is Ellen is scary. What we do in the shadows film shows that, says Keith. And we're all like that, of course, Keith. Just everyone I sleep on. The thing is, if I said I was a vampire, people in the past, like they've been like, you are one. And then some other people now would be like, we called it, because I'm very pale. I sleep during the day. What else do I do that's vampire-esque? That's about it, really. What else? No, I don't really do much else. I got some attachable fangs down there from Halloween. Bish, as said, I am very welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. You should do a doco on the Australian Emu Wars. Says Fluffy. The Australian Emu Wars. Emu, sorry. Interesting. I haven't read too much about this subject. I would have to do a lot more research. That's a good ball from Neser, though, that last one. Just outside of the off stump. That one, wow, that's an even better one. And Roston Chase is not too sure what to do with that ball. Neser's a bit disappointed. Ishigua says she heard a noise. And I'll say you sleep every day in daytime, you work every day and night of YouTube, says Coding. And then here's one for you. Sometimes in the day, I also work. So I do daytime and nighttime work and then sleep for a few hours and then do the same thing the next day. Nothing on the bat for Roston Chase there. Who do you think will win? I think Australia have got this one in the bag. the moment, unfortunately, for the West Indies. Oh, advancing down the wicket. Roston Chase trying to throw him off. A bit of a different style there from the West Indian. And I don't know, Queensland have bipolar. Says Nate. BBL 12 begins on Tuesday. Thunder is what I was trying to say versus the Stars. It's going to be a good game. Oh, Trent Bolt playing his first game for the Melbourne Stars up against Alex Hales, they've just said, as the match up there. Should be a good old match. Nice in-swinger from Neser, or at least it seemed in. One who is new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We've got plenty more cricket coming up in the near future with South Africa versus Australia starting on Saturday. We will be live doing that matchup on the channel. We've also got the sevens a little bit later on. Gonna have meat time, Amish. It's a great pick-me-up, says Fluffy there. I hardly have time to cook food, Fluffy. So it will be a bit tricky. You're just showing the spell of Michael Neser just a little bit almost fuller than he was last time. Oh, that one's short. Roston Chase, great shot there. One bounce for out with the pull shot. I don't know why he tried that, Michael Neser. He was just starting to get the better of him with those pitched up deliveries, and then he decided to bang it in. I think he was expecting Roston Chase to also advance to that one. Just hoiks it away to the leg side. Very good wrist action there. Actually, just said Roston Chase maybe bet in the top 6, be a part-time spinner for the West Indies rather than the full-time. That's going to be left alone. It'll be the end of the over, and that will be drinks. West Indies, they've lost 2 wickets in that first hour. Currently 6 for 69. Time for a drink out there at Adelaide Oval. I believe it's only about 20 degrees today rather than the 32 or so that they did have yesterday. So a little bit lighter in terms of the temperature. New Zealand forests are boring, no dangerous animals. Don't have to worry about bears or wolves or snakes. Just the old pigeon or rabbit, says Almac. Well, sometimes if you go out at night, you hear a possum and they sound really weird. Anyone who hasn't heard the noise that a possum makes, search it on YouTube. They're kind of like a weird guttural howl or like a type thing. Although there is another test match between England and Pakistan. Who do you think is going to win? I think England in a pretty decent spot at the moment. And which sport do you prefer to do commentary, cricket or football? So are we talking football as in soccer, or are we talking football as in rugby? Because that is the other main sport that we do on the channel. I think I like a bit of both, though. It's kind of different pacing. Cricket, we get to, I guess, learn a lot more from you guys or about you guys while doing the streams, whereas rugby's normally flat out and we don't really get too many gaps in between the action. And Bipolar Bear roaming around Logan again. There's Fluffy, and let's get the Windies. Well, let's go Windies get to 135. Apparently, they're a few runs short of that mark, but they're getting there. 69 runs on the board, 6 wickets. There was some decent shots early on from Thomas, but then he chased the wrong delivery, got the edge through, and that was Mitchell Stark's second of the day, or second of the match, I should say. And then we saw some brilliant work from Stark. That in-swinging ball to Jason Holder was an absolute ripper. And almost a half chance for them to take to Silva there as well. Currently, this partnership starting to build 12 runs. Sorry, not 12 runs, 13 on the board for Roston Chase, 11 on the board for De Silva. We're seeing a bit of turn for Nathan Lyon. Michael Neser, he's bowled a nice line just outside of the off stump. And for me at the moment, Neser and Boland are both fighting for Hazelwood's spot. It's that question of who's going to get it. New Zealand Rabbits will rip your face off, says Fluffy there. Boland, the best of the bowlers, 3 wickets, 16 runs off him. And then Stark also getting the 3 wickets, 29 runs off the experienced Australian. Brendan Julian just asking the question, can West Indies bat all day? I'll be honest, it's highly unlikely. And also you have Scary Black Sheep in New Zealand too. And how much $1 million PewDiePie make from YouTube per month? Any guesses? Oh. Now, I'm not too schooled up on YouTube revenue, which sounds funny to say since we are a monetized channel, but I believe, if I know rightly, he actually makes more of his money off merchandise than his YouTube channel per se. So I'm not sure what his CPM would be, but I'd assume it would be relatively high, seeing as he's one of the biggest creators out there. But I didn't tell you. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Hey, bro, do you know Virat Kohli has surpassed Ricky Ponting in most century in ODIs? That is quite the record to have now. Were there any players above them, Piyush? And the pigeons make you regret being born. Cheese sauce, says Fluffy. I'm going to be hungry soon. I had the wheat bix, but they'll only get me so far in the day, won't they? Nathan Lyon. Now, once again, bowling the off break. Well fielded in close by Travis Head. Lyon, he's only bowled 7 overs here in this second innings of the test match for the bowling side of things. So he's got plenty left in the tank. He'll bowl 40 overs if he has to. Now, if Australia have to bowl 40 more overs from Nathan Lyon, that would mean West Indies are doing extremely well for themselves. Which New Zealand set batsman can chase down 30 runs from 12 balls? Kane Williamson or Ross Taylor? I'd say Ross Taylor. Williamson, to an extent, like he'll play the more, I guess, classic cricket shots, but Roscoe's probably going to move around his crease and try and really search for those gaps. And I assume you're talking when they're both in their like peak form as well. And you and Chatfield, says Flavie, where's Sebastian? Like deserves an award. All his hard work throughout the year, keeping at the Kiwi lads are strong and safe with Hamish, still a guy, the Vampires. Says Nate, yeah. Sebastian, he's been our loyal, I was going to call him our sidekick. But I feel like that's an understatement. In a way, we're his sidekick to an extent. I think he probably sleeps less than us to some extent and also works alongside it. So he's a very impressive individual. Sebastian still keeps the channel free of random online dating sites. One thing has only 30 hundreds in ODI. I like how it has only, like 30 hundreds isn't impressive, but 30, I'd like to get a half century, to be honest, before I finish my cricketing career. And here says Gareth. But yeah, it's those regulars. Like I feel you guys, Gareth, you're always here in the random hours of the night. Nate, you're the same. You work in random hours. But it's you guys who come back every single time, like that we're doing a stream. Like we could do a live stream of us buttering a piece of toast, and we would see a lot of you guys here still. To be fair, buttering toast sometimes can be quite difficult. And Seb the Muppet Slayer says Gareth the young guy deserves recognition for his hard works. Says Nate there, yeah, keeping the Kiwi lads spammer and Muppet free. Chase. And we have the strike here once again. Neser's still going to be bowling. 4 wickets to win. So for Australia, if they get a wicket within the next, I'll say 13 minutes, there's a chance they can bowl the West Indies out before the end of this first session. If they don't get one in that time, though, more than likely we are going to see the follow-on, but not the follow-on. So we're going to see another session taking place. Sun's actually out quite nicely in Adelaide at the moment because Minley showed that he can bat. You've got Anderson Phillip who can hang around. They're going to bat at least one session. And I was like, hey, can you bat? I'm not terrible. I can't play to the leg side to save myself, unfortunately. Like, I've got a straight on drive. Can't play off my legs. Can't do the mid-wicket hoik shot, but I've got a cover drive. I've got my cut shot. I've got all those ones out that side of the field, but it's when they're bowling more straight. I definitely go for the straight drive more than like hitting it to the side. That was well played by Roston Chase. I did make it look awkward. Still got the bat on it. And also we have good there. That would be a good Kiwi Lads merch search. Seb the Muppet Slayer says Fluffy there. And also A protects from Rajni comments as well. That is true. We haven't seen it in a little while, Rajni. Probably not a bad thing to an extent. Chase. He can get through to the lunch break, or the tea break as it's called, because it's the day-night test. Oh, actually, Alex Carey moves up to the stumps now. So I'm going to go for a slightly different tactic now. We've seen some ripper catches from Silva behind the stumps for the West Indies. Okay, and this is actually strategic from West Indies, or sorry, from Australia. They know that Roston Chase wants to use his feet. So by putting that man there, it means that he just can't quite advance as confidently. Hey, bro, can you bowl like Malingan? Nah, I don't really. I think when I do pace, I do go right over relatively straight. So probably not quite a Malinga action. When I bowl leg spin, it's a little bit wider. And AQB lads, do you have your own YouTube channel jersey? We don't. It's something that we've looked at in the past as an option. I've always said the whole way through, though, I want to make sure that if we do end up having merchandise, it's affordable. So you guys can actually purchase it without having to break your bank account. Also, it's got to be high quality so that it's not just cheap and falls apart. And the problem is when you're dealing in those two, high quality, low price, it's very hard to get both of them in one go. So we've got to find the right provider of it. Oh, Roston Chase went after that ball. And Alex Carey actually been sent back, stand a bit further back. So maybe Alex Carey, they're saying maybe he wasn't confident keeping that close, but then the other side of things might be that he was just up there for a little bit, make Roston Chase think about it, and then drop him back. So he thinks that he can go after the ball a little bit more now. Left alone again. That will be the end of the over. 6 for 69. Nice over from Michael Neser. It is a maiden. Still Australia search for their 7th. And also, we've got the AQ lads. Are you a Marvel fan or a DC fan? I actually have watched hardly any of either. So I believe the only movie I've seen of the DC or Marvel movies is Batman versus Superman. The only reason I went and saw it was actually because I had all the other Kiwi lads with me. So it made sense that we'd go and watch something while we were up in Timaru. But yeah, other than that, I haven't actually seen too many of the other ones. Travis, may I please have a shirt? Okay, they're just showing all of the young kids supporting Travis Head. Almost got himself the double century. I think you have a gaming channel 1 year ago. What happened to it? It is still there. It is just now called the Kiwi Lads Entertainment. So yeah, it is still there. It's just got a name change. This stage. Silva. Oh, off the back foot. Has to play it nicely. Once Nathan Lyon finds that killer length, that's probably when we're going to start seeing a few more wickets falling for the West Indies. They've got another 48 minutes to survive for this session. They go into it only 6 down. They'll be pretty happy with that. Go straight to Travis. Head off the bounce. Oh, says Pierce. In there. This has been a good partnership, although ever since the drinks break 12 minutes ago, we have not seen a single run being scored between them. Nathan Lyon changing his angle. Let's go around the wicket. De Silva's going to have to try and work out how to counter this. Straight delivery. Searching maybe for an LBW here, Nathan Lyon. This is where De Silva needs to decide whether or not he wants to attack Nathan Lyon a little bit, relieve some of that pressure, or whether he wants to stay defensive. If it's there to hit, I think he's got to hit it. It's what a catch that is for Travis Head. De Silva. Oh, hang on. They've said not out. Off the pad. Great take from Travis Head. Battle leg. Nathan Lyon went, nah. So they aren't going to review that one. And do you make your own videos on your own, or do you have a team? Every video on the Kiwi Lads channel is made by myself. So it is just all me, live streams as well. A lone wolf, although I have a guest every once in a while on the live streams just to help us out. But yeah, everything else is all edited right here. And also, De Silva has been trash in the series, says Fluffy. And also, West Indies can at least play like attacking cricket and score some quick runs. The Pakistan versus England sees England at 236 for 5. Rook 93 not out. So he's had another good innings for the youngster Rook. It was a great catch, though, from Travis. He had the one-handed diving take to his right. I thought it was the wicket, but did come off the pad of De Silva. They didn't review it. Now, once again, Michael Neser going to be bowling. Searching at the moment. Australia, you get that feeling that there's one just around the corner. Nothing out, says Gareth. And also, next England captain is Brooke, says Fluffy. Still an attacking field. They've only got the 2 slips. And the gully now. And Akiwi lads, you make my day. Usually appreciate that, Shakith. That is the goal. At the end of the day, we're always on these live streams. Random hours of the night. Oh, Kerry's got him. What a take that is. And that will be the wicket of Roston Chase. I can't believe that catch. Alex Carey's had literally 0.1 seconds to react to that one off the edge. You do commentary for India versus Bangladesh Test series on Wednesday. I want to, but I don't believe they are showing it here in New Zealand, sadly. So I'll have to find a way of watching it if we do end up doing it. But just juggles it, uses his helmet to help it. And Alex Carey takes the catch. Caught off the helmet, says Fluffy there. Yeah, off the edge. Hits him in the arm. That would have hurt for Alex Carey, but I'm sure dropping that catch would have hurt a whole lot more. Carey does well. Takes it. And now West Indies 7 down. I mentioned that if they got through to 6:20 p.m. New Zealand time without having another wicket falling, they might have been in a decent scenario. But now with 7 down, all of a sudden the Australians, they might be confident they can get the last 3 wickets. Did you know Daniel Vittoria is an assistant coach of Australia? I do indeed. I actually learned that only the other day, though, when Pat Cummins was holding the glove for the bowlers. And the reason he was doing that was because he was still injured, but he had the glove on rather than Dan Vittoria, who was beside him. I think you are watching the match on TV, says Biyash. I am indeed. At the edge. And like they've said, with the edge, the way that it went, maybe if Alex Carey was back, he might not have been able to claim that one. And like they've said, it's hit him in the arm first. Would have hurt, but very happy with that indeed for Alex Carey, who's the head coach. Never saw anything after Langer's resignation. To be honest, Gareth, I don't actually know. Who is the Australian head coach at the moment? Because, yeah, ever since Langer's gone, I haven't actually really followed along with who's right up there as well. We're going to have a quick Google. Australia cricket coach. It is Andrew McDonald. Who's that? Okay, Andrew McDonald's in charge. Couldn't tell you who that is. I thought Dan was manager at Mangere Specsavers. They're just showing that in slow motion. Even in slow motion, it looked quick. That's how quick it went in full-time speed. That is absolutely brilliant. Andrew McDonald, says Fluffy. And there as well. Alex Carey gets all the taps on the top of his helmet. 7 down now. Oh, it's off the edge. It's uppish, but it does go through. Nathan Lyon, it's wide of him. Through that backward point region, getting close to the boundary. It does pull up. They decide they want an extra run, and they do get there nicely. Alzadi Joseph gets 3 runs to start him off at the crease. So the thing is, these 2 can still bat, though. So I think De Silva's the next big wicket that they want to try and get. Alzadi Joseph, he's the type of player who probably won't mess around too much. He'll be out there, he'll be trying to score because he'll know that this test match is all but done for the West Indies. So you might as well get your average up a little bit while you're at it. Get a good strike rate going. Michael Neser, a little bit too straight there. De Silva works it away to the leg side and it races to the boundary. Mitchell Starc just not quite able to cut it off. Why doesn't Vittoria McCullum coach New Zealand instead of foreign teams? I guess the easiest way to describe it is if New Zealand aren't going to give them a job, someone else will. You look at some of the great New Zealand coaches in rugby around the world at the moment. If New Zealand say we're happy with our coach, we don't want to hire anyone else. Like, these guys still have a whole heap of knowledge, and they can pass it on to other teams, and they're doing that. Look at Brendan McCullum and the English Test side. A lot of people, after he signed for England and got them a few wins, they were like, he should come back to New Zealand. And he'll be getting paid good money over there, though, so he won't be too keen on returning just yet. And also, Hamish, when are we going to see a guest appearance on Viva La Dirt League? Viva La Dirt League? Viva the Dirt League. Gareth, would you be disappointed in me if that one's gone straight over my head? I'm staring at it, trying to let it hit the back of the brain cells. Viva the Dirt League. See a guest appearance on What is Viva the Dirt League? You can see how hard my brain was working there. I couldn't quite get. Oh, sorry, Gareth. Over. Yeah, Fluffy, and also England versus Pakistan. Brook now got a century. England 245 for 5. Free slips in play for Michael Neser. It's off the edge. Kerry takes another one. And Neser, the pitched up deliveries are very effective here. To Silva dismissed in the same fashion as he was able to take a few catches as the keeper. It is a ripper of a delivery. I'm surprised, I guess, says Gareth in there. But Neser off the edge. Good work from Alex Carey. Had the hands in the right place. That ball just went through. Got him, says Nazir Williams. And now 8 down. Alzari Joseph will be joined by Anderson Phillip at the crease. West Indies, there's a chance they get bowled out for 100 here, and it's not too far away by the looks of it. Now sitting 8 for 76. Anyone who's new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're back with sevens a bit later on tonight. We have also got more cricket coming up in the near future. The BBL starts on Tuesday, covering a majority of those games on the channel, and then also Australia taking on South Africa. Michael Neser. The thing is here, he's just saying to the Australian selectors, they're saying they're going to select their side after this match. So you've got Hazelwood out with an injury. Neser versus Boland. They're both going for that same spot. Both have slightly different styles. And Dirt League have a great production values. Must cost them a ton, says Fluffy. And there. But Alex Carey, like they're saying, what a feeling for that man to take 2 catches up close to the stumps. And to be honest, that's got to be also down to Michael Neser, because you need to have a certain amount of confidence in your bowler to be able to be that close to the stumps. Definitely when he's bowling at about 130. Alex Carey, Michael Neser, both seem to be getting along pretty well at the moment and doing some great things out there. 8 catches in the match for Alex Carey. Let's go Windies, get to the 135. That's close. He's got an inside edge, though. And Steve Smith not quite able to cut it off. It must be one of the New Zealand's biggest channels, Fluffy, says Gareth. And yeah. I was about to Google on YouTube Viva La Dirt League, but I don't know whether I should have. If starts doing commentary, the whole world will stop doing whatever they're doing. Start watching, guys. Bowled him. Oh, no. Joseph's gone. He decided to have a swing at it. This is 9 down, and we're not too far away from the result of this test match, ladies and gentlemen. 450 test match wickets for Nathan Lyon. A big milestone there. And hey, Hamish says, Brandon, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Nathan Lyon, Gazza, gets his first wicket in his 10th over bowled. It just swings. Alzari Joseph, head in the air. He was looking up to the sky, which is not what you want to do when you're trying to get the ball to 6. And I was like, I won't stop. There's Brandon there. And I was like, hey, Fluffy, how was your game yesterday? There's Nissen. Yeah, we never actually found out the result. We found out that you got yourself a duck. Oh, sorry, no. We found out you faced 5 deliveries. You got 2 runs, was it? But we didn't find out if you actually won that matchup. Do let us know. Alzari Joseph now has left 2 men who have faced a single delivery now at the crease. Momentum well and truly for Nathan Lyon. Gets a hug from Mitchell Stark, who congratulates them for 450 wickets. Oh, I got a link from Gareth in the Discord. They're from New Zealand. Nice. I have never heard of them before, to be honest. Which I feel like's bad, because they are quite a big are they from New Zealand? They are, aren't they? Nicely played. I'm Minley. And let's just say I performed better with the 4 buck jugs than on the field. Thanks for asking. No, I'm not going well. I'd be 43 hours of live stream, only 2 hours of sleep. Says Brandon. Also, we have good there. We keep streaming a bit after the game ends. Says this and 1 more wicket and it's over. We might consider sticking around for a little bit longer, depending on when it ends. More than likely, we'll be finishing at around that 7 p.m. mark. But we do have a 7s preview to film. the Samoa versus South Africa, so that will also get done, and then we'll probably have that up on the channel at around either 8:30 or 9 p.m. I believe is when it's going to come out. That's in the air. Oh no, Travis Head has dropped it. It would have been the end of the game, but Head's put it down. Mistake in the field. He had it in his hands, but then it just ended up juggling out straight to him, in and out twice. And Travis Head unable to hang on to it. Nathan Lyon's disappointed. Are they a YouTube giants, Hamish? Says Fluffy. Oh, that's a good ball. Also put yourself online now, you Discord, says Brandon. Gonna be now 40 overs down, 9 for 76. Also, stick around, my boy, stick around. Here's young boy Pete. Oh, see what I would like to do. I don't know whether he'd be keen though, because he has got a sore knee. I was going to say I'd like to have another crack at that BBL leading run scorers for the seasons over the years, or the leading wicket takers from past BBL seasons with my dad, because he would know a lot more of them than I would. We'll have to do that another time, maybe. Too busy making videos to watch videos, says Gareth. You're not wrong there. I feel like I watch no YouTube now. I used to be obsessed with watching, like, I'd say like a good few hours of YouTube a day. Now I'm lucky if I get to watch like a 5-minute video. And then if I want to watch like a 15-minute video, I normally have to watch it in 2 parts, which is quite sad. And can you try to doing now? Nice ball in behind. I mean, to be fair, like when it says I'm online or offline, I'm still online. Like my PC's on constantly. So anytime you send a message wondering if I get it, I probably do, because like I'm always on my PC or asleep. And with the South African test starting Saturday, coming at the Gabba, do you play Boland or Neser if Hazelwood and Cummins is out? So I believe Cummins is good to go. Hazelwood's a no for the first test match by the sounds of it. So that does mean that Boland and Neser both jockeying for their spot, both playing extremely well in this test match with the ball in hand. They might go Neser just because it's its home ground at the Gabba. So maybe he knows it a little bit better, but yeah, I don't know. It's a hard decision to make. Just showing some of the deliveries. And can you read this, Kiwi? I don't know what it says, Biryani. So only for that reason, I won't read it, just because I have been set up in the past with things like that. They've said, read this. And then I've read out some swear words and all sorts. That was a leave. It was actually a very good block in the end from Anderson Phillip. And Boland, with all the rain up there recently, he'll do well, says Fluffy. I think it's the case of whoever they choose is still going to do very nicely, aren't they? At the Gabba. You're going to be heading there, Fluffy. Match at the Gabba, do let me know. And although I like Boland more, but Neser can bat, says Al Mac. It's an interesting one, because Boland's very handy with the ball. Neser's handy with the bat and the ball as well. Boland can still bat though. But in the field, I think Neser's not quite as strong as Boland. That's going to be hit through. Nicely fielded by Labuschagne though. By recently, I mean the last 3 years. Okay, so not like in the last week or two. Minley. You're off 4 deliveries. So busy doing New Zealand vs Springboks. I'll take Neser Fluffy, says Robert. That should actually be, tell you what, we've had an idea now, ladies and gentlemen. We go here. We go here. We go here. A moment. We're going to get it now. We're going to get it. I hope they don't get the wicket now, though, because that might ruin it a little bit for us. Oh, it's the edge. Alex Carey's taking the catch. Right, what I was going to say is I hope they don't take the wicket now so that we can start a new poll. And that poll was going to be, who do the Australians pick for the next test? And the question was going to be either Michael Neser or Scott Boland. Remembering that Neser's just got himself his 3rd of the session, so he also has 3. In fact, I believe Boland's got 3, Neser's got 3, and then also alongside that, we saw 3 from Mitchell Starc. Is it over? It sure is. The last wicket falls for the Australians to be able to pick up, and it's a great take from Alex Carey there as well. And able to dive nicely. And also, what a disappointing series, says Fluffy. It's a shame that they weren't closer than what they were here, but I should have probably had an option of neither and had like Jai Richardson maybe as another one. But Australia, they have won this series and this matchup by 419 runs. Will you stay for a bit? We might stay for about 5 or 10 minutes or so just after this game, see everyone's thoughts on what just happened. What we'll quickly do is we'll scroll up a little bit here. There we go. Go like that. That is going to be the end of this test match. A disappointing second innings, though, for the West Indies, getting bowled out for 77. Neser for the win. Says Fluffy, a few years ago, they considered selecting Neser as an all-rounder. He has a decent bat. Says Al Mac there. Yeah, they've definitely got options. That's the best thing for Australia currently. Even though they're losing Hazelwood, they've still got either Neser or Boland. Looking through at some of the statistics of that second innings, we did see Boland get 3 in 1 over. We also saw a very good performance from Neser near the end, picking up the Tailenders. That's a little bit of the difference, though. Boland got the guys in the top order. Neser got the guys a little bit lower on. But some would argue those guys in the lower order were actually batting better than the guys at the top. Now, Australia handshakes all around with the West Indian side. It's still been a great series to be able to witness it. I've enjoyed getting back into Test match cricket. Yes, the series didn't go the way of the West Indies at all, but it's still, to an extent, was an awesome way to get back into the cricket. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this one. We've got South Africa versus Australia as our next series. The BBL starting up on Tuesday with the match between the Melbourne Stars and the Sydney Thunder. And also, we have got their great show, Hamish. Thank you. Check you later. Cheers all. Says Gareth. We'll see you later on, mate. And Indies or West Indies should invest more money into grassroots level. Well, they've got an academy, the West Indies, but they don't seem to be using it too much at the moment, unfortunately, which is kind of that next thing they'll need. They'll have to do a coin toss to pick the replacement, says Nissan there. And also, West Indies failed to beat the Aussies, says Shannon. So currently looking through at the way that poll sits, 64% of you, in fact, 67 have actually gone Scott Boland. In the moment of the 15 votes, if you haven't already voted in that poll, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to pick who you think Australia will pick for the next test match. Hazelwood out, so it does mean it's either going to be Michael Neser or Scotty Boland as the option. And also a beer pong tournament to select the bowlers. Someone mentioned about a coin toss. I've got my wallet here. I got any coins, though? I've got 120-cent piece. I'm absolutely rolling in money, as you can see. That is completely a lie. But what would you have? Neser, who's the queen out of these two? Michael Neser or Boland? I'll go because Boland went well at the MCG. He can be the queen. Not that the queen's ever gone well at the MCG that I know of. But heads or tails? Heads means that it's going to be Boland. Tail means it's going to be Neser. Oh, I dropped it. I'm going to have to do that again. Boland. Scotty Boland, and it's actually the option that is winning in the poll as well. Seems like Scotty Boland may be the pick of the bowlers and make his way back into the Aussie side. But Neser still had a very good performance. If you consider his batting performance as well, maybe he might get the nod. It's a tricky one for them to be able to juggle here for the Australians. Here's Boland. Says Fluffy there. But nonetheless, I think we are getting close to the end of this live stream. Like I mentioned, we have got plenty more coming up on the channel. We got the sevens that will be taking place in a very short moment. Well, in fact, a short moment is 8 hours, but we will be live doing that matchup between New Zealand and USA in the following game between Samoa and South Africa. Australia don't have many up-and-coming young bowlers. The backups are all over 30. That is true. They need another young guy. Cameron Green, to an extent, was supposed to be that guy, but because he bats at about 6, it normally means he's not really in that category. But I'd say if they can find someone who's about maybe 25, such as Lance Morris. In fact, I'm going to have a Google Lance. How old is Lance Morris? He's only 24. So he's probably that next up-and-coming bowler for the Australians, I would say. And he's got plenty of pace bowls at about 145, 150 clicks. Very handy with that ball in hand. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this test series. We've covered about maybe 19 hours of the series on the channel. It's been a lot of fun, and we have got plenty more test match cricket coming up in the near future. Like I mentioned, BBL just around the corner, where we'll get to see players from Australia and the West Indies both competing. 6 wickets falling today, though. And it didn't look like for a second the West Indies were going to have too much trouble in this first session when they were getting a nice partnership building, but then The wicket started flowing. Start got a couple. Neser with a couple very good catches from Alex Carey behind the stumps. Was able to pick up 3 today. That how the keeping session, or I was going to say how the cookie crumbled. And then that will really make me want a cookie, and I haven't got any. Thank you all very much for tuning in. See you all a little bit later on. Be sure to check out that preview when it comes out in about an hour and a half's time. And I will see you all for the next one.